Adam Driver, one of the few bright spots in the sequel trilogy, actually pitched a Star Wars movie that sounded incredible. He teamed up with Steven Soderbergh and spent 2 years developing a film called The Hunt for Ben Solo. Lucasfilm loved it, Dave Filoni loved it, even Kathleen Kennedy liked it, which, I mean, I'll be one of the first to say, Kathleen Kennedy, I think I owe you an apology. Unfortunately, Disney killed it faster than Kylo Ren killed Han Solo. Adam Driver wanted to return only if the story was worth telling. He didn't want another cash grab cameo or a lazy Disney Plus prequel. He wanted to fix what the sequels broke. His idea, a film that takes place after the Rise of Skywalker. Ben Solo survives, somehow. Who the hell cares? He's the only good character and actor in this franchise. Bring him back however you want. Disney thinks that just because we complained about Palpatine coming back, that we'll complain about this. It's like the two aren't even comparable. The idea mirrored Darth Vader's arc but flipped it on its head. Instead of a man consumed by darkness, it was about a man escaping his darkness. Driver brought it to Soderbergh, who teamed up with Rebecca Blunt. Together they created what Driver called one of the coolest fucking scripts I've ever been a part of. They pitched it to Lucasfilms, everyone understood the vision, they understood why. It wasn't about nostalgia, it was about the character. The only character that everyone in the Star Wars franchise actually gives a shit about. Then the project reached the real villains of the saga, Bob Iger. His response? He didn't see how Ben Solo was alive. Oh, I don't know, Bob. Maybe the same way Emperor Palpatine came back through a jar of goo? Just do it like that. The fact that they didn't give Ben Solo any lines in The Rise of Skywalker is the biggest missed opportunity in this franchise. The whole sequel trilogy was basically built around him. Like, yeah, Rey was the main character, sure, but like, who gave a shit? Everyone was going to the movies for Adam Driver. Everyone knew that he would be redeemed. I mean, even from the very first The Force Awakens, he talked about feeling the call to the light. And so we were all waiting. And then to hear his name, that he was named Ben, I mean, it added so much weight to that movie. It added so much weight to knowing that Han and Leia named him after Obi-Wan. You just knew deep down that he was a good guy and that he could still be redeemed. And even when he became Ben Solo, he said no words. After he became Ben Solo, all he got was like an oof. Yet he delivered such an amazing performance. He shrugged. He shrugged in the fucking movie, and it was the best goddamn performance in the entire sequel trilogy. The shrug. That's all we got. I wanted more. And I just figured Adam Driver probably didn't give a shit. I figured he probably checked out like John Boyega. He probably checked out like Oscar Isaac.
Chances of a return for Poe Dameron one day.
Who knows? I need another house or something.
He probably just didn't give a shit anymore. He was probably already thinking about his next movie, The Black Klansman.
You keep driving, you black spear chucking piece of shit!
To learn that he actually gave a shit, that he was behind the scenes for 2 years, writing fanfic about his character, trying to give him more than a grunt, because that's all he got. How do you go and also think, hey, we're gonna make a Rey movie?
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Yeah, she was on a magazine showing her butt. Cool. That's the only thing I've seen about her. I think she made like a swimming movie that nobody saw. Adam Driver has had the most successful career, without a doubt. And Disney doesn't see that? Why is it that the fans can see things that they can't? Why is that? Is there like some type of conspiracy to crush the souls of Star Wars fans so that they don't care about the rest of the world? I feel like that's the conspiracy, because they know that Star Wars isn't going anywhere technically. You're just slowly killing your fans with like terrible Star Wars because we can't leave like a battered housewife. So the conspiracy is, let's just keep slowly killing our audience so they don't notice that we're also robbing and them through the government. I think that's got to be like some kind of government contract. Like the government has a contract with Marvel and Star Wars and Disney, and it's like, hey, crush the souls of all of your fans. That way they don't realize that we're also robbing and them in real life. And so they'll go online and they'll complain about stuff like this instead of complaining that inflation ate half of their money last year and that daycare costs went up 200% since 2020. That to me is the only plausible explanation for this. I mean, look at the reaction this scene got in Rise of Skywalker. I didn't see any reactions like this in The Last Jedi. I mean, I'll admit The Rise of Skywalker was terrible, but at least fans got something out of this. The same company that greenlit Somehow Palpatine Returns suddenly wants realism? It's laughable. Disney killed the project because it didn't fit their franchise machine. Their first thought was, well, how will we make a theme park ride out of this? They don't want creative filmmakers, they want corporate-approved content slop. And that's what makes this sting even more. This wasn't gonna be a $1 billion CGI fireworks show. Soderbergh wanted to make it grounded, handmade, character-driven like The Empire Strikes Back. They wanted to make a Star Wars movie that was actually about people. You know, the kind of thing George Lucas used to care about before everything turned into a soulless brand cash grab. Driver said they wanted to shoot it for less than most, but in the same spirit. Imagine that. A Star Wars film that didn't cost $300 million to make, but actually had heart. But Disney doesn't want that. They want something they can make Funko Pops out of. Now Kathleen Kennedy reportedly stepping down, Lucasfilm's in transition, and the upcoming slate looks like a random spin the wheel of desperation. A race sequel, Ryan Gosling's in a starfighter, Ancient Force origin story. This is just laughable chaos. Meanwhile, the one project that could have united the fans, The Hunt for Ben Solo, is dead. Soderbergh even said, I really enjoyed making the movie in my head. I'm just sorry the fans won't get to see it. Yeah, so are we. They could have had Adam Driver back, the only goddamn actor from these sequel movies that actually went on to have a profitable career. But instead we get more Rey, more nostalgia, some Mandalorian and Grogu side quest movie, more lifeless boardroom approved slop. The galaxy far, far away feels even further than ever. Here's the wildest part. Everyone is united on this. This never happens. You have the supposed toxic Star Wars bros, the Reylo shippers, the casual fans, the sequel defenders, the prequel defenders, all of them agreeing for the first time in decades. No one is arguing over canon. No one is calling each other fascist. They're all just screaming the same thing. Why did you cancel this movie? And that tells you something. The fandom didn't just suddenly get wholesome. Disney just fumbled so hard that they turned the entire galaxy into one giant support group for Adam Driver. Disney says, we didn't see how Ben Solo could be alive after episode 9. Meanwhile, in Star Wars, Darth Maul gets sliced in half and comes back. Palpatine exploded into dust and reappears as a science experiment. Boba Fett crawled out of a sandworm's stomach after being digested for years. But Ben Solo, that's where we draw the line. Apparently being redeemed is a worse fate than being vaporized. Look at the reactions online. People are calling Ben Solo the best Star Wars sequel character ever.
Yes, exactly.
Saying his story between light and dark was the most human thing the sequels had in it. And Ben Solo didn't even have a goddamn line in the movies. That's how good Adam Driver's acting is. He just grunted a bunch of times because they cut all his lines, and every Star Wars fan is like, actually, we do want to see more of that. Fans who hated the sequels are even saying, yeah, this actually could have redeemed it. Reylo shippers are obviously losing their minds. Even the diehards who swore off Star Wars are crawling back out of exile because Adam Driver wrote a better redemption story for himself than Disney ever could have. This man is literally grieving his character enough to write what amounts to fan fiction that could have been canon. And Disney's like, no, we're good. We don't need that. Adam Driver spent 2 years trying to give Star Wars its soul back. I thought he was one of the actors who actually didn't give a shit. But behind the scenes, he was actually writing his own fanfic trying to bring back his character. He wanted to tell a story about guilt, legacy, redemption, and for what? What exactly is the brand at this point? It's just Marvel 2.0, but worse. This man grieved his own character more than the company that created him. But to Disney, storytelling isn't even art anymore, it's math. If nostalgia plus runtime equals $1 billion, then it's greenlit. Kathleen Kennedy's probably somewhere giving a speech about empowering creative women voices. The Hunt for Ben Solo could have been the thing that finally healed the Star Wars fandom, but instead, it just proved what we already knew. Disney doesn't know what Star Wars is anymore, and they never did. Star Wars used to mean something. It was an event. You'd hear that Lucasfilms logo rumble through the theater. It felt like Christmas morning, like something sacred was about to happen. Now it's just endless spin-offs, filler Disney Plus shows, Jack Black and Lizzo, and movies that exist to sell you a Funko Pop. Trying to Marvelize Star Wars completely gutted what made it special in the first place. I liked The Force Awakens. Everyone seemed to walk out happy. That was the last time there has been any energy in this franchise. It's just been gutted. The Hunt for Ben Solo feels like the first time in a decade where there could have been anything to resemble that kind of energy. The fans are tired. The actors are trying to fix what the writers broke, and the only people still defending this mess are the ones they're selling lightsaber popcorn buckets to at the theme park. Here's the twist. The fandom finally woke up. For one brief, beautiful moment today, the entire Star Wars community agrees. The Reylos, the purists, the prequel nostalgists, the sequel haters, they all agree on something. We need the Hunt for Ben Solo movie to be greenlit. Now! As I'm sure most of you are aware, I've had a bit of a hiatus because I'm a dad now, as I discussed in my last video, but things are finally starting to calm down, so I'm going to try to start making videos a little bit more often. And as what can only be described as divine trolling from the universe itself, as I talked about in my last video, my son was actually born on Jared Leto's birthday. The comment section was obviously interesting to read, people saying things like the biological mother is Jared Leto, or the second coming of Jared Leto is upon us. But several of the comments were asking me, did you name your son Jared Leto? And my answer to this is, of course I tried to. I went to my wife and I said, we need to name him Jared Leto. And she said one word back to me, no.
You stupid bitch.
So I regrouped, I thought, and I came to the conclusion that maybe I can sneak something else in there. Because despite how much hate this sequel franchise gets, The Force Awakens is without a doubt one of my favorite movies of all time. It brought back a grand feeling in the movies that I have not experienced since. And really, one actor stood out to me more than anyone. The performance, the character, I just enjoyed it so much. And so when my son was born and I got to hold him for the first time, I finally got to say his name face to face.
Ben!
I'm sure his reaction will be similar to this when he finds out who he's named after. Maybe if we make enough noise, maybe if you share this video around, maybe if we comment on Bob Iger's Instagram enough, we can make a difference. Maybe we can give this movie the Deadpool treatment and bring it back to life. See you next time, Janitor Squad.